There we are. We are live for number 100. 100 bogus hangouts. I think you get less than that for murder. But it has been a fun journey, and it's nice to be on 100. I'm looking forward to the next 100, I have to admit. I've put the live link on the event page for anybody that wants to join us. But let's kick off the same way we usually do. Bill, what have you been up to this week?
I've been, it's a surprise, digging into patents. I found one that explains how caffeine worked. And I'm not sure I've seen anybody talk about it, so I'm going to share it with everyone.
Well, I just drink it and it works. You know, that's the way caffeine's always worked.
It's a little bit different than that when it comes to search engines. The caffeine they drink is different than the caffeine you drink or I drink. They don't drink out of man mugs.
I know. That's Google for you. You know, California, they're just not good enough for man mugs.
Yeah.
Terry, what have you been up to this week when you unmute? When you unmute, you know.
I'm really on it today. This week I didn't do too much. Putting out fires with gasoline mainly.
That does feel like my week.
I'm glad it wasn't just me. Not that I wish it on you or anything.
Yeah, it
I
definitely.
feel a little better.
In my case, it sort of felt like I was putting out fires after drinking gasoline and just peeing on them. You know, extra danger.
I know that.
But today was a good day. I know Doc is around. Doc.
Yeah.
What have you been up to this week?
Oh, I've just been doing some troubleshooting. Had some issues come up with a couple of sites and trying to find some nasty little bugs. But yeah, pretty much busy work. Taking advantage of a little bit of.
Good though. That's sometimes what gives you the ideas for other big things.
Yeah, I just, you know, we all tend to ignore some things when we're busy, and all of a sudden you get a little bit of lax time, and you just want to take advantage of it. And that's what I've been doing, just trying to catch up on the things that have been getting deferred on my honey-do list.
I pretty much know what Darren's been up to this week, mostly running around for me and being a hero. So I'm going to quickly go to Kristin first. Kristin, what have you been up to this week?
I don't know if you can hear me or not. Like, I'm having issues, I guess.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, all right. Lost you guys now, but if you can hear me. Okay, now I see. Okay, cool.
Have you got a flapper dress?
Yeah,
to go with
more of that
dress?
peeing on fires. What?
I just wondered if you had a 20s flapper dress to go with the headband. Somehow it just.
Oh no, I'm Princess Right Kittia. We just came out with another one of our Android apps, so you caught me in mid-costume.
Practicing your British accent.
Yes. Because there's no one on the entire team that is British, so I would just want to bring a little bit of flavor in there.
And Darren, come on, tell us what you've been up to, because not everyone has been following you around this week.
What day is it first? Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Yes, it's Tuesday. Hi everyone. What have I been doing? I've obviously been helping Ammon, which has been great. We over the weekend, and call it a road trip. Wouldn't you, Ammon? A small one at least.
Yes.
So, and I was like a good road trip. Yesterday and today, I've just been doing some AdWords stuff. So we've got a client that we look after AdWords, and it's quite a big campaign. And we've managed to have his conversion cost.
That's good.
3 weeks.
That's always good.
So yeah, Pretty happy. Yeah, it's just negative keyword match really. He's advertising against all the wrong terms. So we should be able to get down another. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. And then I've got friends over tonight, so I'll come in just to say hello and spend about half an hour and catch up with everyone because it's been a while. And then I'm going to be off having a few beers, I think. So.
Good move. Good move. I unwrapped one of the boxes earlier and found my port.
Nice.
So, I may have a glass of that later. Hey Fab, how are you?
Hello, how you doing, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes. Which international office are you in this time?
Back in London, finally. Was actually.
You must be upset. You seem to like that Texas. No, Florida, was it?
Yeah, I was in Florida, Tampa. It was very nice actually. I was in New York. In New York before that, it was like -3, 4 snowstorm and going to 25 degrees and like sun was quite a change. So
yeah. Well, I did notice the difference. You know, you posted pictures of New York and. Yeah, there's the window with skyscrapers everywhere. There's a deli there, and it's cold and grey. And then you post pictures of the Florida office, and there's a pool just there. And
that was actually the hotel, but like more or less the office is, it was nice. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm back to London.
Are there like a whole bunch of really crazy people in Florida?
Well, not that
I've
I've
just described Florida.
Hopefully, everyone that works in my company is pretty like.
Alligators in the office or anything, you know.
Try not to hire crazy people, you know. But I haven't met many locals enough to quantify how crazy they could be. But, yeah. It was nice. I liked it. Yeah.
I always think everyone in Florida must be nuts because Eli shares the funniest stories. Eli Fennell.
I have this funny feeling though that Eli is a bit of a magnet.
He's a magnet for me.
Yeah, I think he attracts the crazies. I mean, he looks like a sort of so, you know, there's this little duality going on there. I think that does attract the crazies.
Could be.
Anyway, apart from it, all good. Back to normal, which is good. And doing some work because the bad thing when you travel is that you suddenly stop working and then you come back and you realize that fuck, I haven't worked for 2 weeks. Like not enough, right? Yeah, that's good.
It is one of those things. You don't get a lot done when you're on the road, particularly when you're actually moving home. Trust me, but it's all good. It's all good. It gives us plenty that we want to get on with when we can finally get back to it.
Yeah.
Excuse me, my cough.
You're excused.
Well, I must admit, I mean, I feel.
I'm the princess.
Yes. I feel almost out of the loop this week because, you know, so many other things have sort of had me busy. We don't have Jen this week because, of course, she's at SMX, I believe.
Yeah.
Sat right next to Dawn.
Yeah.
Poor excuse. All right. Jen gets away with it because she has to blog about it. But Dawn, come on. She's just she's not doing her university work. That's all it is.
She's getting pretty close to being done, right?
Well, I heard that next year she wasn't going to be traveling as much. I've heard that 2 airlines are already filing for the fact they are expecting to take a loss next year.
Yeah, if Aleda ever goes off the road, that's going to put a lot of aircraft out of business. I tell you. I think Dawn may just trying to give John a break.
It could be. It could be. I must admit, I am looking forward to Brighton SEO, although Darren got double booked and Darren's off on holiday. And He is the least excited person about going on holiday I think I've ever seen. He looks like he'd rather go.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
You're going to spend it with in-laws there, Dan?
No, I'm off with the little one and my wife. We're going up north to the Lake District, to the mountains. So
when he says the little one, he does mean his son. I'm not going with them.
You made me laugh, Ammon. I'm coughing.
First week on the job, Choke's boss. Excellent.
So I'm not going to Brighton SCO. So if you know anyone that wants a spare ticket, you're welcome to have it.
You just missed. Fab was I think grabbing a free ticket earlier from Linda. Was that right?
Okay. Did you get one?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I have a few more friends coming. Yeah.
You need a ticket?
No, I actually got it. Yeah. Linda had me.
Yeah, he got one from Linda Hodgenese. So he's sorted. I think my spare may be going to somebody already, but I'll bear it in mind, Daz, and if I know anyone that wants one, I will let them know.
All right, mate. Yeah, okay. If anyone wants it, I'll be sooner rather than later. But yeah, I would love to have gone. So I'm going to the Leeds one, which I've never been to before. In July, I think. I'll just see what that's about. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm coming as well. Is in June probably, no?
In June, is it, Fab? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to that one. I got invited. I got sort of told to go by Mike Osolinsky. Yeah. So I said, yeah, I'll go up, but we'll see. I've double booked a few things.
It has been getting quite a bit of talk the last couple of years, and I think Search Leads has really taken off. So yeah, it looks like it should be a good one. If I'm not there, you'll definitely have to let me know how it goes. But I have been hearing good things about it the last couple of years.
Okay.
It's relatively new, but it does seem to be picking up. Mind you, this, the SEOs around Manchester and Leeds and generally around that part of the world have all been sort of upping their game, really. It does seem to have become quite a hub.
Yeah, I think you've got E3. E3 are the agency out there that seems to stand out in Leeds. So
there's quite a few. Name just one, or you will annoy so many people you haven't thought about.
Right. Okay.
There are lots and lots of agencies around Manchester and Leeds.
Right. Yeah.
Including Dawn, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what has been going on that's new? Google are bound to have changed about a dozen things because it's a day with a Y in it.
I got my Google Assistant this morning.
What's that?
This thing that made my phone go really slow.
It helps you find headbands in a hurry. That's what it does.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to explore it very thoroughly, but I noticed a lag.
I must admit, I'm waiting for the first divorce case where one of the things is going to be that the other person keeps resetting Alexa on them. A couple arguing with each other, resetting Alexa. Set an alarm for 5 minutes, Alexa. Alexa, cancel that alarm. Alexa, set the alarm for 10 minutes. Alexa, cancel that. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to happen.
That can happen with a regular alarm clock. Heck. You did what? You turned it off? Why would you do that? I needed to get up. It's a true story. It happened.
Yeah, but it is going to be fun watching as these digital assistants become more and more part of our lives, and therefore, for a lot of people, more and more a part of the family.
Yeah, I'd rather have a dog.
Wouldn't you really?
Well,
Yeah.
it'll only be a matter of time before they start mounting the assistants to the dogs. And it will monitor the dog and let you know when the dog is thirsty or tired, and the dog will be effectively asking you for things.
That would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
If my dog asked me for much more, I wouldn't have time for the rest of the family.
Just as long as they don't give it to cats. You know, basically the assistant will keep telling you, feed me or die.
little extended claws that come out. Press the home button. Get off.
Yeah. You know, dogs are very patient and loyal usually, but cats, no. It's a different ball of wax there.
Yeah.
I did have a cat that would go on walks with me, though. He would, we would impress all the neighbors. He would just always come with me. No leash or anything. Just right there by my side.
With Google Assistant, then you ask it a question and it just gives you an answer. Is that right?
Depends.
I think it's supposed to work like that.
Or is it using the knowledge graph?
Depends
It's
on the
connected
question.
to Google Now, and it can do all kinds of things, just like Siri can set you reminders. Next time I'm in this road, remind me to pop into the opticians. You know, it's generally an assistant.
Similar to Siri, no?
Yeah. It is good.
Minus the snark.
I don't find Siri snarky, but then again, you know, I haven't extensive use of Siri. Alexa doesn't seem to talk back much. A bit, but not much. But yeah, I think all of these are gearing up for what's coming.
But it's never going to do anything more than any more than basic search for the next few years, surely.
Oh yeah. It'll make your appointments. It knows where your usual doctor is. You know, so you got a cough, you ask it to book you an appointment. It will automatically go through to the website, check for availability, make you an appointment with your regular doctor. All of those kind of things are already planned. It's now a case of you know, checking the safety and making sure it doesn't overdo any of those things.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
But it can do things like, you know, it can book you into a hotel, book the flights to connect you there, book the cab to get you to the airport, all of that.
So you just literally say, will it do linked up queries then?
Yes.
What it can't do is it can't make you look at your phone, though, right?
Well, the idea, of course, is that soon it won't need to. You know, if you've got your Bluetooth earpiece in, it can just let you know, yes, I've done that.
But if you don't, it can be doing all these things without your knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Well, yes, of course it could, but that your phone's already doing that. You do not know every time it's passing data about where you are or what you're doing and what sounds it's hearing in the background and what all of those other sensors are picking up, but it does that.
Mm-hmm.
Bill pointed out a while ago that, you know, turning off the microphone on an Android phone is pretty much impossible.
Yep.
And I take a photograph at a store. Google Maps wants me to upload the picture to Maps.
And mine does.
Yep.
And I haven't told it where I'm at. So it's
just going past certain
tracking
places.
me around.
Yeah, just going past certain places recently. Google says, "Oh, I'd like another photo of this area, please." So you know, can you take one?
Yeah.
But actually, now with the local guides program, they get in. So if they see that you contribute, they get quite aggressive in. Like, you know, I did it 2 times, but now like it feels like that every time I go out from the door, I want to add some data. I can understand some people might want to, but like, you know, that becomes a full-time job at some point, like fixing their time, like opening hours data and things like that. Like this.
Right. One of the things that Google Maps was missing out on was feet in the street. They didn't have people going from store to store, checking to make sure they were real places. Now they have them with local guides. People.
No, like, I find it quite nice, especially now that they integrated all these more type of activities, restaurants within the map experience in a better way. I don't disregard. It's just that like it naturally get trained by itself to, you know, when they see you being active, they probably want you to be more active, you know. And then there's this reward scheme, and but at some point I realized that I didn't want to be as active because it was getting a bit too much, right? Like,
Those local guides badges don't get you too much.
yeah.
I just like seeing the numbers like add up like with picture views. Oh my gosh, look at this stupid photograph I took and it's got like 7,000 views. I love it.
Announcing within the next couple of weeks free trip to Mountain View.
Wow.
And how to as a local guide, how to become a top contributor and have them bring you out to Mountain View.
There you go.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I think they did it last year as well. William, I think, went, no?
William Rock?
Yeah, William.
Yes.
Yeah. One thing.
Yeah, he's actually made quite a bit of effort into like, or he's put a lot of effort into it and kind of made it into like a job, like, or at least like a part of his job.
Yeah. One thing I've been hearing a lot of is, of course, about Facebook advertising and how it seems to follow conversations you've had. A lot of people, it's anecdotal, but they have one conversation about something that's quite unusual, and suddenly they'll see ads for that thing for days, if not weeks. So, you know, you might want to check that out yourself with... pick a place you've never been to and have no particular interest in going to, and then talk to somebody about hotels in that region and see if you start getting lots of travel agent ads and hotel booking ads and things like that.
I've heard somebody say the same thing about Apple.
Yeah. Yeah. We certainly know that they're all capable of doing that. And honestly, I think Facebook would be one of the first to do it. The amount of experiments they have run on people, this would not be a big stretch for them. They have, of course, denied it, but then again, they denied several things they did get caught doing. So, yeah.
Yeah, like for instance, I think I posted on either yesterday or the day before on Facebook that I noticed I had a couple days ago, I had followed or friend requested a couple of people that I had been having some interaction with on Facebook. And then the next morning, when I logged in, I had notifications that these 3 people had accepted my friend request, one of whom I had never heard of before. So I check out the gal's profile, and it's nobody that I would ever know, ever have seen. She was connected to one individual that I had a friend connection with.
Yeah.
But she said she had accepted, not she said, Facebook said she had accepted my invitation. So I'm wondering, are they automatically, I know that they do see that you and this person have something in common. You might want to follow, you might want to see this person. Are they automatically generating mutual friend requests? Because a couple people came back to my thread and said that they had had the same thing happen, and they had contacted the person, and the person said they had never sent them a friend request and had also received a friend request from my friend. So if that's going on under the covers at Facebook deliberately, I got a major problem with that.
Yeah, that's very risky. And
it's been going on since 2013, by the way. Somebody showed me a thread on Facebook from 2013, people complaining with the same thing, and Facebook never responded to it.
Right. If I were you, I'd have a look through apps that you may have added in the past. Make sure to remove any of those you're not actively using, because there's games and things, and then you forget about them, and you don't touch them, you don't realize it's still got permissions, and some of those can add friends.
Oh, really?
very, very selective about the apps I use, and I doubt I have more than 2 or 3 active. I hardly use any of them.
Yeah.
The games, forget it. I won't touch Facebook games because they're just a sieve.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where I would look first. Is I would look at which apps have permissions, because even if you've unloaded the app, you may not have removed the permissions, because of course a lot of those demand the right to post on your timeline. If they can post on your timeline, then technically they can post a friend request on your timeline.
Yeah.
Okay, so am I hearing this correctly that if you app and you give the permissions, but then you delete the application, they still have permission?
They can do, yeah. And if the other person has that app, technically you've given that developer permission to do things with your profile.
So, like, what if you clear
change
your what if you clear like everything, like your
go on to permissions,
history,
clear the permissions.
browser cache, whatever?
Yeah, just go to Facebook, go to your permissions, clear the permissions you don't want anything to have.
Hey, the thing is, Kristen, when you download the app, you're putting the app on your phone, but when you give them permission, you're putting that on Facebook. You're telling Facebook that this app has permission to post on my behalf. So once you delete it from your phone, it doesn't matter. Facebook doesn't know that it's not on your phone anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's assuming that they would even care.
Third-party URL, the permission, a third-party server, the permission to do things. And if that app gets sold to somebody else, that person inherits those permissions. So yeah, make sure that when you clear your apps, you also change the permissions. I say you should revisit your permissions every 3 to 6 months anyway, because there are things that you reconsider. I wish there was a way of turning off permission to show me Neil Patel's ad, but apparently not.
Oh my goodness.
I tell you, if somebody wanted to develop an app like that, they could make a bundle on it. I tell you, there's a lot of
Yeah. Oh, that was some recent news, of course, in the past week, was that Larry Kim has left WordStream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. For what?
New.
Some new opportunity.
For STC.
He posted on LinkedIn today. He posted something on LinkedIn yesterday or today. Didn't read all of it. It got posted on Facebook by another group. The mobile space, whatever that means.
Yeah.
He's going into the mobile space?
He's working on a new app. It's a new startup. The official post from Larry was that, you know, this had got nice and safe and it was doing well. And the first time when he, started working on WordStream, he hadn't been able to get the investment because he was an unknown. And there were little things in it.
So he's had it kind of going in the background.
There were little things in it that sounded like he didn't feel like he had enough of the pie with WordStream and was cashing out to be the CEO of something new.
I kind of got that impression too, Evan.
Yeah. And there was particularly no sort of talk about what stake he had retained in WordStream, which I would have expected somebody to talk about, because, you don't want everyone who is a fan of Larry Kim, both of them, deciding to leave WordStream because he's no longer involved or panicking. And there was nothing kind of reassuring about that other than, he said they will carry on, but he didn't indicate any sort of involvement of his own.
Can you imagine panicking because he's not there?
No. I've seen the street parties, but no sign of panic.
Well, I don't know the actual details of the situation, but like generally, did they receive an investment at some point?
Yeah, it's a brand new venture. I think he has some backing for it, but I think it's mostly bootstrapping. He is looking for investors.
I'm talking about WordStream. Was it funded by an EVC at some
It
point?
was, but it had to have a different CEO.
Oh, okay.
They wouldn't back Larry as CEO for this company because he didn't have the experience and chops for it at the time.
Okay.
Mostly it was a post with lots of pictures of unicorns in it.
Fluffy pink unicorn. Yeah, I see it now.
Because you know, some people don't quite understand what the unicorn thing is in investment, but you know, yeah. Basically, the unicorn is that 1 in 1,000 investment. It's the you know, it's the Google or the Apple. You know, it's one of these mega companies. It's not WordStream. Moz wouldn't qualify as a unicorn, not by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, so. But
Would there be like an equivalent, like in search engine marketing?
Sorry, which? What?
Oh, would there be an equivalent in like the marketing?
Not really. There's been some quite big companies. iProspect was certainly very big in the day, had quite a bit of investment, but even so, they were not unicorn level companies. You know, you are talking about companies like Google and Uber and Airbnb and, you know,
Airbnb, yeah.
that become common words to everybody out of almost nowhere. You know. Those are the unicorns because they are that rare. Everyone wants to be one. Nobody, you know, it's very, very, very rare for somebody to actually create one.
Everybody
What do you
wants
think
to,
about
nobody
Buffer?
knows
Like
how.
with Buffer? Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Go
I
on, Doc,
was
what
just
was
saying, everybody wants to, but nobody knows how.
Yeah.
But like in search, there is not much money to make as a SaaS company. Well, there is, but like not at the stage where you can, you know, get to 1 billion evaluation, things like that. Like
Well, there was obviously Google made it.
Sorry?
There was a lot of investment at various times. Google now own the search space. This is why the development of machine learning and automatic assistance is so hot at the moment.
No, sorry, I'm not talking about like actual search. Is when it comes to tools for marketing.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite likely that someone like you would have to take probably, I'm not sure about like the entire kind of digital space, but to offer a SEO PPC tool and like get to.
Actually, yeah. I'm going to disagree with that, Fab, because Google don't make their money from search. They make it from the tool they added, which was AdWords.
Mm-hmm.
That could just as easily have been a third-party tool that they worked with instead of something that they built.
Something they copied from Yahoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, search just gave them the product to sell. They got the audience. Now they can sell their product, AdWords.
But the entire point of these assistants is that the days of the search engine are numbered. It's something, Bill, we talked about this in the session on voice search with Perna. The days of the search engine being a destination are coming to a close because as these digital assistants become constantly with us, we will ask them questions and they will provide us the answers or direct us directly to the website. They can negotiate on our behalf. We can send them out to find the best price. You know, all of those different apps we've had in the past, the search engine, the price comparison, you know, all of these little things can be combined by one search assistant that is good enough for everyone to plug it in their own app. And that's why the big money is in this right now. Google, Apple, Facebook, all of them are working on this one assistant that is going to be so good that instead of developing their own, everyone will just plug that in. The same thing as, you know, people don't bother with their own search engine anymore. They just use Google.
And Samsung has been actively trying to build one from a company they bought called Viv, and the search assistant is named Bixby. But supposedly they have limitations on what they can use it with because of a prior agreement arrangement with Google, which blocks them from doing certain things.
But that's like sorry guys.
Siri was very intelligently made, and Bixby is made from the same people who created Siri.
I know, but these are more tech companies. Like, so the worst extreme example is, well, there is some tech behind it, but it's more like a platform for marketer. And on that space to like, come on, how much like an average search agency pays for this tool, and how many search agencies there are out there? If we do the math, it's quite likely any of them is gonna like reach 1 billion evaluation, things like that. No?
I think Larry Kim's been showing off, or trying to show off, that he has some type of expertise in search that involves things like clickstream data that really isn't the realm of WordStream. I don't know how much expertise he has in that or in machine learning, but I guess we'll see.
Well, he's never been worried about only writing about things he's got expertise in the past. I don't think he'll let it worry him in the future.
Yeah, why would it start now?
It's going to be an interesting few years as these assistants develop, because literally, I think we've got 5 years till it really starts to kick in. But within 10 years, the idea of going to a search engine is going to be as archaic as half the things we can talk about to kids now. Judith, what?
I agree. I think we're gonna be seeing those like Betamax video recorders and answering machines. You know, it's a cute idea to reminisce about, but nobody uses them anymore.
Right. We're going to be talking about Google in the same tone of voice that we might use for a search on Hotbot.
Yeah. Yeah, or even Web1 or InfoSeek. It certainly is coming. There's absolutely no stopping it. And you know what we were talking about with Facebook, listening to conversations, being able to do that without even letting us know necessarily. You know, this kind of thing will be happening more and more. Google now already extracts a lot of data for context, where you are, what you're up to, what time of day it is, that is incorporated into any later search you make or what news you're looking up. It's data stream of what's happening right now is very, very personalized, and that's going to become that's just a glimpse of what is coming and how personalized it will be. It will know every conversation you've had.
Is Google ranking search results based upon your reaction in your self-facing camera to those results? It might be.
If they have the capability.
They have a patent on that. So
it's going to be interesting when Randy's at search conferences telling everyone to pull a certain face when they do a certain search.
I can see
they recognise moving.
But it will be, look, everyone run this search, click the third result and go.
Stand up and noon Google.
A whole new type of negative SEO then.
Yeah. It's certainly going to keep us busy. I must admit, you know, there's a lot of people who would think that, you know, oh, well, the death of the search engine will be the death of SEO, and of course it won't. As David Harry has often said, and you know, we've all often said, search engine optimization isn't just about the search engines that you know. It's all kinds of search engines. Anywhere there is a search box, we are involved, including site search, of course. But understanding the technologies involved, just because the search engine itself goes undercover, doesn't change our interest in it and doesn't change the fascination we have with how it works, or the prior research we have into how it works.
also the side of no matter how people are gonna get there, you still need to build that content. You still need to build those products. It's quite likely that you're gonna get away with it. Like, if you don't have them, no matter how people will use search engines, they can be embedded in background. But if you don't have that product, like it's not gonna fly. So I think that is the thing that people often forget when they try to focus on all those tricks that.
I think once again, it's going to make it tougher for anybody new to come into the industry. It's tough enough now. They've got so many different things to learn. But imagine when you can't see the search results page. Imagine when there's only personalized results and it completely unique for each person. That's going to be very hard for somebody to study, that they're going to have to do an apprenticeship with an SEO company. And even then, it's going to make our jobs to track any of this very, very difficult.
The emphasis going to just change altogether. Like, will the skills be needed more in the area of understanding machine learning and how to organize data and what to do with it and how to analyze it?
I would say that, I'm biased, but I'm biased because that's the way I've always gone. I think marketing is going to still be the most important thing, because all of those machines are just trying to do what people want to do. Google is always aiming at pleasing the customer. So if you understand the customer, you can literally head them off at the pass, so to speak. The thing is to make your site, your client's site, the one that people want to use, and therefore the one that Google's going to promote.
And we kind of got a big slap in the face, hard lesson, learning that always mean everything in terms of like shaping large, for lack of just putting it out there what I'm talking about. It can come down to decision. It was like human decision of our forefathers to allow certain means for, right?
It's very different to the past in one huge respect. Very much until 20 years ago, the market was a set market. Delivery costs were an extreme thing. There were delivery radiuses that mattered a lot more than today's global market. We have more and more intellectual property, less and less physical property, more and more ability to 3D print the physical version of things. The global market really is putting the whole world on everybody's shopping list rather than that local radius. We have seen that increase, and it's going to be harder and harder for the small business because they are going to have to compete with everybody.
Well, the other aspect of that I find interesting is we all have been watching, obviously. Google has been diversifying tremendously over the last several years. And at first I thought, well, maybe they're just hedging their bets and trying to grab new opportunities. And I thought, well, maybe they're just being altruistic and say, we're making so much money, we can gain a lot of popularity in the market by investing some of this money in new technologies. And I began to think that, certainly somewhere around Mountain View, they've discussed the inevitability that when search engines are no longer a go-to destination, their audience disappears, which means their AdWords sales will disappear. Okay, so they've got to find a new way to inject themselves into the advertising business in order to maintain any income. And I wonder if that might be the biggest stumbling block that they're looking at, because I can't imagine how you go about doing that in an AI-driven, app-driven search market, where I can ask my phone, what's the capital of Iowa, and it'll flat tell me it's Des Moines.
If they don't win this battle, yes, they are going to be in trouble. However, they always have the option to sell their knowledge graph data, and this is one of the reasons, again, why that database is building up and up and up. If somebody else comes up with a better advisor interface, then Google can still sell them the data, hopefully. Hopefully.
And beyond knowledge graph, Google is also building a social graph, affinities and interests database that probably has some value.
I think, though, that's only because they know that Facebook are so much stronger with them on that side of things. And this is, again, shoring up their biggest weakness so that they can at least compete. I do think that Google are looking at diversifying. I do think that they've got a lot of fingers in a lot of pies, and that a lot of them are not marketing based.
Right.
They are in a very good position to be, developing drone deliveries. They are certainly looking at automated cars. When you have self-driving cars, you have the ability to replace every taxi company in the world with a fleet of self-driving cars where you can literally, basically do a flat share on a car. 8 people automatically, pay into this thing, and that car's there on demand.
Yep.
It's able to plot its routes. It's able to estimate. It knows what your usual travel time is like. So that one car can be serving 8 people on demand, and none of them ever notice not having a car.
And there's a very well funded industry that they're a natural for right now. As a defense contractor, the technology that they can probably rival DARPA in a lot of areas. And I'm sure that they're probably providing DARPA with a lot of information already. So, just to split off a defense contracting division, there would be a tremendous influx of capital.
Yeah. I think this is it. Google have a huge number of options. I don't see Google disappearing. I do think that they have been very clever in diversifying into many, many different fields. However, will they still be the unicorn, the Google of that space? We don't know.
Yeah,
but do they have to be? I think they've diversified into enough things that just being pretty successful in all of these different areas would certainly put them in a very strong position. However, traditionally, we have seen big giant companies fail. Once upon a time, the idea of Kodak not being a major brand was unthinkable.
Or a Polaroid.
Yeah.
I guess this day is also happening faster because of ability to grow massive companies with very little investment technology. So look at WhatsApp, for example. Few employees, they I don't know, just a bunch of servers, and they managed to sell to Facebook for that value, and it didn't take too much, right? And that is changing quite a lot, how people can disrupt something eventually, which is good and bad. That is forcing people to innovate faster, but at the same time, the company that you love might disappear quicker than you were expecting, no matter how good they are, right?
Yes.
Well, who was it who said that disruption is providing companies that are interesting, and that you have an Airbnb that doesn't own any hotels, and that's one of the largest hotel brands in the world. Taxi company like Uber doesn't own any taxis, and
yet
they're providing. And we are seeing that type of disruption.
Yeah, it's the era of the middleman, where the middleman is actually owning the space. That literally they are controlling the distribution.
But then at the same time, at some point they will need the actual property as well. They will need the actual product as well, not just. So they can go in and dominate the market by being the marketplace. But then at some point, they need to go into having those cars, having those hotels, having those.
Yeah. Well, Darren's disappearing for dinner because his boss is insisting that we will see him later. Yeah, the thumbprint's still there, don't worry.
Wouldn't you say that it's already a destination that's taking a lot of traffic from Google?
Oh, several.
You know,
I think we've talked before about
Yeah.
the fact that Amazon doesn't rely on Google traffic. It's got its own. Amazon certainly aren't hurting. I think Google could just quickly de-index Amazon and they would not notice for a week or two.
Well, I think they'd notice, but it wouldn't put them out of business.
It
Well,
wouldn't hurt
no,
them.
I think a lot of people have it as their start page, and much the same with eBay. Yeah, there was a time when those two results dominated search because of the authority of the domain. But honestly, how often are you looking for things these days, and neither Amazon nor eBay are in the results? But
And
they're
there,
making more money than ever.
there was a time when you went to Amazon to buy Amazon products.
Yep.
And now they're in the marketplace. They're their own ecosystem, like a Google.
Yeah, and again, like Airbnb and Uber and all of these other things, Amazon don't actually write their own website. Everything is provided by third parties. They are the middlemen. They are the thing connecting the sellers with the buyers.
All they lack is to have Amazon made a verb.
Yeah, and they definitely
Right.
don't want that.
Amazon it.
But yeah, I mean, this is it. They are actually more successful in that place than Google is. I would say that Amazon are probably a little bit more successful in that space than Apple are. And Apple are very, very good at owning their ecosystem.
But I think.
Okay, speaking of platforms doing things like without your permission, I apparently signed up for Prime 2 days ago. No, I didn't.
There's been an awful lot of spoof emails floating around the last couple of weeks from Apple, from the Apple Store, from Kindle. I get them all the time. I spot them. They're incoming, and some of them are pretty slick, and some of them are pretty obvious. But there's an awful lot of spoofs. You got to be very careful about things like that.
I didn't open the email, but I just saw it on the title.
You have to be so
headline.
careful with anything.
Actually,
you're
like-
now looking for little check boxes that you should have unchecked and didn't even see.
That too.
If you bought anything from Amazon in the past 2 weeks, there's a chance that it had a tick box to opt you into Amazon, into the Prime.
Nope, didn't. It's with my school account, which I rarely go into.
Then in that case, I would get in touch with Amazon and I would change the passwords on that account. Amazon are too big to fake it. They won't have forced it. They don't need to. They are making enough money. They will legitimately trick you into it, but in a way that is, legal. They won't do it any other way. So if something signed you up for it without you possibly having done it by accident, change your account details and make sure that account is safe. Well, we are at 5 minutes to time on our 100th episode, so I think it's time we did a roundup of what we've got coming up in the week ahead. Bill?
I'm busy doing audits. I had a string of a bunch of audits, and I'm at the last of those for now. Hopefully they'll lead to more, but I'll be happy to get this one out of the way after 6 or 7 in a row really quick.
Yeah. Well, I've had weeks where I'm literally doing 50 small audits in a week, and those can be fun, but they can also be tedious.
Yeah,
because some of the obvious things just turn up again and again and again. Terry, what you got coming up this week?
Oh, I'll go down to the gas station and go back to work. The usual. Not too much big going on these days. Just maintenance and trying to get new things working. Not a lot.
Yeah, I would certainly. I mean, everyone always needs maintenance. Everyone always needs development because companies are continually either expanding or contracting. Very few just sit at the same size for long. So they always need web dev. Doc, how about you? What are you up to this week?
I'm getting ready to launch a new site in the UK.
Oh,
Yep, we've been working on the Search News Central. Got the Australian site up and running now, and getting ready to build out the UK site.
cool.
That'll keep me busy for a day or three.
Yes, yes, it will. The British market is very different too. As I say, there just seem to be more independent operators who are very, very good. It's kind of like the days of the privateering navy. There's a lot of SEOs that operate in that space. Don't sail your Spanish galleon too close.
Yep.
Fab, what are you up to this coming week?
Quarterly planning and some interviews, hiring people.
How many people are you taking into the team?
One at a time. So we just hired one, and then we're probably gonna keep it open until we feel is enough. Like I'm feeling the pain of not having started a bit earlier last year, and people, and these good people don't apply as much these days, and the delete button is the primary button when I receive CVs. This recently, but it's fine. Like I think it's okay ratio for what we're looking for. It's just like finding people is not that easy. Plus, convincing them to join, and so it's probably going to be always on hiring for the next 12 months, probably.
Well, I may have a couple of names that you might want to talk to. I'll drop me a line. Let me know exactly what you're looking for, and I'll see if I hear of anything.
Yeah. We always looking for like my record there was a guy that used to work with me, which took like 3 minutes and a half on WhatsApp and no interviews, and that was probably the best the best hiring that I did so far. So I'm keen. When people recommend you someone, especially if you know them, there's a good chance that it's going to work, and that's something that like it generally does the job. Differently from Italy, where people who get recommended, they're just cousin of someone. Here people tend to, if I put my face and they're gonna recommend someone, it has to be good. There was a guy that used to work with me, and in general, like you don't feel comfortable recommending people who sometimes you don't know what they're gonna do, and ultimately it's my reputation as well, right? So
I did find with Italy there was a lot of nepotism. It's a lot of I have a cousin, I have a brother, and there was always this very personal link, and the person was completely unqualified, but you were doing them a favor by giving them this person a job. No, you can't afford to do that.
So exactly, that's the thing where like being good at what you do is not optional. You have to take that thing. Plus, if someone recommends you, there's a good chance that you are like a nice guy and like you're probably gonna be reliable and things like that. But like being good is not like a side bonus benefit. It's a must. If you are cheap, you can be whoever you like, but there's no way out. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Kristen, what are you up to this coming week?
Okay, well, I get to talk to Heather Lloyd Martin tomorrow, and compassion-based copywriting, why connection is crucial, and I'm excited and terrified at the same time.
Excellent. That's how you should be. That's how you get a good talk. I'm still that way with every seminar and conference I do. Apart from when I rehearse it too much, when I'm kind of terrified and bored.
Definitely not that one.
But yeah, remind Heather that she's promised that she's coming on a Bogus Hangout, and we still haven't seen her yet. So you know, remind her.
I will.
My week is, well, I've got a few deliveries coming tomorrow and getting things fixed and basically still getting the move all organised, and then next week really get stuck into my work without all these little hassles going on in the background. It's all the little things, like, you know, getting furniture and then assembling furniture and working out where I'm going to stack things on these furniture and which things I'm going to sell. Darren, can you store this in your garage? Yeah, it's exciting times. Well, we are at time. Thank you everyone for joining us, and hopefully see everyone next week.
Bye-bye.
I know.